I know you've all been told that you can have it all, and you're a queen and a lady boss and that bitch. But maybe your judgy ass is no prize either.
Bill Maher just torched the woke left again on his show Real Time with Bill Maher, and this time he's calling out modern dating, cancel culture, and purity tests in the Democratic Party. In this savage clip, Bill Maher uses the latest season of Love is Blind to expose why Democrats just keep losing because of being woke has become more important than just being real. From BLM litmus tests to height shaming on Bumble, Bill Maher says the left is just turning politics into a cockblock and true love into a political quiz. Let's break down this brutal reality check and what it says about liberal values in 2025 in this clip here from Real Time with Bill Maher.
And finally, new rule: before they can take on Donald Trump, Democrats have to decide which wing of their own party is best to lead them out of the wilderness. And when I say that, I'm sure you can all guess what recent incident in the news I'm thinking about. The season 8 finale of Love is Blind. Now, if you didn't see it, well, first of all, fuck you. It's absolutely the best dating show with love and blind in the title. But here's what happened. The bride, an impressive, attractive nurse named Sarah Carton, walked out on her dream wedding to sales consultant Ben Mazenga. They were at the altar, all dressed up, almost to the part where they eat cake and do the electric slide. When Sarah broke the news to her man that she just couldn't go through with it. Had he cheated on her? Abused her? Was he a folk-singing Irish vampire? No, it was because of Black Lives Matter. Because if there's one thing we know about the young liberal women of today, it's that they are very, very high in their standards about everything. And Ben, while no racist, had not done the work on this issue.
When I asked him about it, he was like, I guess I've never really thought too much about it.
And that's when Sarah realized she'd rather die alone. Because love isn't blind, it's woke. Well, now, to be fair to Sarah, it wasn't just Black Lives Matter. Ben also didn't have much to say about the vaccine. And his position on trans was basically, I don't know, I guess. Sarah's sister is gay, and when she told that to Ben, Ben said he had, quote, no discomfort around that community at all. Not good enough, Ben! I think what you meant to say is, fuck yeah, I fucking love it. Let me tell you, folks, if the standards on the left are going to be this high and politics is going to be this much of a cockblock, we're never going to win elections or have any more babies.
If you enjoy content like this, make sure to go ahead and like the video, comment your thoughts, subscribe to the channel. It would help me out a lot. Let's get back to the video.
This inclination from certain liberals to always and immediately excommunicate instead of communicate is what makes them so unlikable. And I'm sorry, Sarah, to make you the poster child for this, but come on. I mean, look at this stiff. What'd you expect? Okay, you're a much better person than he is. You win. And by win, I mean lose. Christ, first we couldn't date people who had opposite political beliefs. Now we can't even date them if they have no opinion at all. It's enough to make you lose faith in finding true love on a reality streaming series. Because if you're going to eliminate every 20-something who hasn't thought a lot about politics, you're going to be working from a smaller pool than roadies with no leg tattoos. And let's be clear. Ben didn't say, you know, I have thought about Black Lives Matter and I'm with Derek Chauvin. No. He said, I'm young and dumb and full of fantasy football stats. Could we just talk about it? I'm sorry, I'm not up to the part of my life yet where I give a shit about the issues. Should he? Of course. We all should do a lot of things. I should meditate and finish Moby Dick and learn to get to sleep without a gummy. But But maybe Ben hasn't turned his life over to being a social justice warrior yet because he's preoccupied with trying to get his life going. Possibly because he's worried about having the means to support the woman he thought he was going to marry, who seems rather demanding and particular. Which is kind of how it is these days. Did you know that on Bumble, only 15% of the women are willing to date a man under 5'8"? Wow. Women, they're like roller coasters now. You must be this tall to ride them. And that's not all. The guy must also have a nice car and make over $100K a year. Okay, but you know, how many 6'2" Grand Prix drivers are there? I know you've all been told that you can have it all, and you're a queen and a lady boss and that bitch. But maybe your judgy ass is no prize either. And if you... And if you jilt a guy for not thinking enough about Black Lives Matter, just tell me this. What have you actually done that made any more of a difference in any black life than what your inadequate ex-fiancé did? I asked Senator Adam Schiff here last week when the subject of Trump's sliding poll numbers came up. Okay, but how are the Democrats going to blow it this time? This is how. Posturing, purity tests, the politics of I unfriend you if you're not exactly with me 1,000%. Barack Obama used to preach that the perfect is the enemy of the good. Yeah, it's also the enemy of getting laid.
Bill Maher went off in this latest Real Time with Bill Maher segment, and let's just say he did not hold anything back. And judging by the crowd's reaction, a whole lot of people were very ready to hear what he had to say. And the whole rant kicks off with Bill talking about his new cultural trend where the left, especially younger liberals, have made dating and politics almost inseparable. He takes a swipe at Season 8's finale of Love is Blind, where a woman named Sarah walks away from a seemingly great guy at the altar. Why? Because he didn't have a strong enough opinions on things like Black Lives Matter, vaccines, and trans issue. And Bill jokes that the guy Ben wasn't a racist. He didn't do anything wrong. He just hadn't done the work, meaning he wasn't well-read enough on the latest progressive issues. And that, for Sarah, was a deal breaker. The guy didn't check enough activist boxes. He was basically canceled at the altar. That's when Bill drops the line, because love isn't blind, it's woke, and the crowd just eats it up. He makes a point that if the left keeps holding people to impossible standards and keeps canceling everyone who doesn't fall perfectly in line, they're not just going to lose elections, they're going to stay single, and they're not going to have kids. He says politics shouldn't be a cockblock, and yes, that got a huge reaction from the crowd. Bill keeps going, though. He says this judgmental attitude from the far left isn't just annoying, it's unlikable. It's the reason why the Democrats lost. And he even apologizes for making Sarah from the show his example, but says, you're a better person than he is. Okay, you win. And by win, he means lose. And the crowd is right there with him. Whether they applaud, they're laughing, they're just absolutely locked in. He says we used to just avoid dating people with the opposite political view. Now you just get dumped if you don't have any political views. And if you're a 20-something-year-old guy who doesn't have a deep take on BLM or gender policy yet, forget it, you're just disqualified. And then Bill pivots to dating apps like Bumble. He mentions that only 15% of women on there are even willing to date a guy that's under 5'8". He jokes that women now have "you must be this tall to ride this ride" signs like it's a theme park roller coaster. And again, the crowd just absolutely eats it up. He goes on, you need to be tall, rich, have a nice car, say all the right things about every political issue, and maybe, just maybe, you'll get a second date. He says, I know you've been told you're a queen and a lady boss and that bitch, but maybe your judgy ass is no prize either. Another wave of laughs. But it's not just about dating. Bill is making a bigger point about how the woke left is hurting itself. He brings it back to politics and saying this need And saying this need for perfection, these purity tests where you're unfriended if you're not 1000% aligned, is exactly how Democrats manage to blow it every single time. And he quotes Obama, reminding everyone that the perfect is the enemy of the God and the odds. Yeah, and it's also the enemy of getting laid. And that final punchline gets probably one of the biggest pops from the crowd. So yeah, Bill Maher went off on the woke left, and the crowd, yeah, they were all the way with him. Whether it's dating, politics, or just basic human connection, his message was clear. Stop trying to cancel everyone who is not perfect. Talk to people. Be real. Because if not, the only thing the left will be left with is themselves. Let me know what you guys think about this topic in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next video.